I could look at the stars at night at 9 because I lived in a very rural area with no night lights. Sputnik was launched when I was 8, and that was all that you heard on the radio. Reading H.G. Wells, Jules Verne, even watching the science fiction TV shows, that's what captivated me. It's not easy to describe. Exploration, whether it's space or deep sea diving,
Close the hatch thermal cover.
People who become enamored with that and excited about it have the same level of passion. I didn't say logically, I have a plan, I picked that. It kind of picked me. The return to the moon is called the Artemis program. The moon is going to be our next Antarctica research base. The moon is about 3.5 days away, and the front face of the moon always faces us. So if you've got a base there, it's always a direct line. And if you had an emergency, you could be back here in 3.5 days. Mars is a lot different. Mars is in an orbit way out there. If your life support systems quit 1 month out into a 6-month journey, you're dead. If we can learn to operate in the lunar environment, in that extreme environment, and design systems, including spacesuits, then we can extrapolate that, reduce the risk of going to Mars.
You'll click to start the sequence and these light panels will turn on, and I'll be doing a calibration sequence. My dad was able to get me out of school to go see the last space shuttle launch of Discovery back in 2011. Since then, I knew that space is where I wanted to be and to work, and it's where I got really involved in all my STEM classes and started my own projects through high school and undergrad. My research is focused on predicting suit fit performance using computer modeling and finite element analysis. I'm really motivated to figure out the best way to fabricate and engineer spacesuits that work best for humans so that we don't minimize any of an astronaut's existing performance. What truly makes it unique working with her is that how much experience that she brings to the table that many of these other researchers don't have direct data points for.
Five missions, 50 days in space. What was critical is those were 5 missions. So the longest mission was 13 days, the shortest 7 days. It was long enough to see the short-term effects of vestibular changes. So, you kind of sway a little bit until you become reacclimated to Earth's gravity. We can't get less than 1G here. But on a centrifuge, if you're prone, we can use centripetal force to create an artificial lunar and Mars gravity. NASA then built what's called a short-arm centrifuge. It was now in storage at the Johnson Space Center. We talked about bringing this centrifuge back into operation in the state of Texas. NASA gifted A&M the entire $2.2 million centrifuge facility. A&M and NASA and KBR have teamed together, and we're going to have a world-class facility.
It is rare, and having a centrifuge here is such a huge asset for us, for not only for us as scientists and the ones who will be operating it, but also for Texas A&M. Will be the only one with these capabilities in the United States. So really put us up front in this investigation of what's happening in human spaceflight, when we want to go to the moon and go to Mars, there are lots of unanswered questions about what's the right way to do it, what's the right countermeasures to keep our astronauts healthy during all this trip. So here, really, it's really a unique facility to answer some of these questions.
We're so used to living on Earth. We've evolved over millions of years to be perfectly adapted to Earth and 1G conditions. Almost every system of the body is affected by spaceflight in some way. But over those really long duration missions to Mars, that's where all those effects are going to start adding up, and you're potentially going to see an increased number of medical emergencies. Most people have probably been to the fairgrounds, and a lot of people might have seen one of those rides where you spin around really fast and you stick to the wall. So imagine a scientific version of that, but you're lying down. So you're lying down horizontally on your back, but you're spinning around. So the sensation is lying down, but almost like you're standing up because you're getting pushed outwards.
We have a couple of NASA-funded projects that will be executed on the centrifuge. So external investigators, or even NASA, in collaboration with NASA, will be able to host external teams to come and do their research using our centrifuge here.
1, 0.
0.
Release.
And liftoff. As the countdown to Mars continues, the perseverance of humanity launching the next generation.
After we have a base on the moon, part of the Artemis program, and we're flying crews to the moon, and we're thinking about, the nation's thinking about going to Mars in 2035. We want to be one of those top 10 universities, just like MIT was during Apollo, that people look to be part of the future.
Even if it's as low as 10% chance, just to put in a number out there, it's worth giving it a shot.
We have ignition, and we have liftoff of NASA's Genesis spacecraft.
It's just a explorer's nature to want to go do that, even though the risk might be pretty great. You just kind of have to bite the bullet and just take a chance.
Everything continues to look good.
You're doing it all for the greater pursuit of knowledge. As long as there is a chance, then it's worth going.
Picking up a little bit as we go through the wind shears and encounter the transonic buffet. Stage level still looking good, and we've just went supersonic.